Hello, everybody. I just want to thank everybody for listening to my blogs and my presentations, my radio shows. I really do have a passion for bringing truth to people around the country and around the world. There's a true passion I have with this, and I've been spending a lot of years studying and practicing myself. So one of the things I just really enjoy doing is sharing how I've found peace in my life and how I've gained confidence in my life. And most of you that have listened to my presentations know that at one point in time I did not have a lot of confidence in myself, and I used to hold back all the time and worry about what other people thought, and worry about that I said and too much or but too much or studied too much, and had all these judgments upon myself. So I really do appreciate people supporting everything that I've been doing, and I consider you all a part of my community, and I love each and every one of you. I think that that's very important for this kind of work, is to have a true passion and love for it. Today I actually want to talk about how do we create the world tomorrow. And the reason why I actually chose these actual words or that title is because the church I was raised in used to refer to the world tomorrow. And I actually had a telecast by a televangelist named Herbert W. Armstrong, and he actually had a show called The World Tomorrow. You can actually look it up on YouTube. I don't agree with what my church taught. It's not my path or my spiritual path. I don't want to condemn them or look down upon them, because that's not why I'm doing this presentation. Just because we don't agree with something or don't see it some way doesn't mean I think we should condemn it. We just speak our truth on how we see it, and we resonate with other people, and we live by example of how we see things. And so one of the things that inspired this presentation tonight was a posting that I had posted on Facebook last week. And a question was presented to me on, well, this is great. How do we do this? And I was talking about loving each other and understanding each other and seeing and respecting each other. And this is actually a very important process in how we are going to create this world of tomorrow. And interesting enough, as I'm saying those words, I want everybody to understand that when we say the world tomorrow, those are just words. And the reason why I want to stress that is that if we are constantly looking for what's going to happen tomorrow, then what happens today will never happen. We're always going to be living in the future. So take those words lightly as I say them, and understand that they're just in the context to get us to start thinking. And so how we're going to start this, as the person presented this question to me, and how we're going to start the world of tomorrow, how we're going to create peace in our life, or in our world, and how we're going to create it in our lives, and how we're going to bring love to this planet, how we're going to change things and transmute it, is by starting with us, with ourselves as the individual. And I know that that's very hard for most people to understand, and I know that if you've heard my presentations before, I've talked about this till I'll probably talk until the cows come home. And it's because it's the truth, and it's the one thing that most of us know deep in our heart. However, when we get caught up in our reactions and the things that we're doing in our life, we forget. And that's okay. That's a part of the process. But if you're doing a daily basis of practicing, then you're going to see a definite shift around you. And so how we do that, and I can guarantee you that I've gone through this process myself, and I still get lessons with it. Just tonight I saw a comment on a friend's Facebook, and my immediate reaction was to lash out, and I had to regroup. And before I said anything, I had to just say, not my circus, not my monkey, and move on. So there's a few things I want to say to you, is that we can speak our truth. There is nothing wrong with speaking our truth. There's nothing wrong with saying how we believe or how we feel. There's nothing wrong with that at all. And so what happens is that we like to we've been taught the wrong types of words. Our words have been taken out of context. I'll give you an example. The word humble. Most people think that the word humble means I play small, or I'm a little mousy person in the background, or I need to be a good boy or a good girl and not say anything and not rock the boat. And honestly, that definition is bullshit. It's not the truth. It's not what humble means. It's not what it's all about. What humbleness is about is this. Being humble is knowing who you are, understanding that you are a divine being, understand that you are a child of God or a child of the universe or a child of the great source or whatever, and knowing that all of that lies within you. Here's where the humbleness part comes in. You know that's your confidence, that you know that without a shadow of a doubt. You don't believe it, you know it. The humbleness comes because you don't have to speak that. You don't have to rub it into people's faces. You don't have to list it off like it's a resume. You don't have to say, I'm a child of God and scream it. And you don't have to do that. You can. There's nothing wrong with doing it. And it's always in the context of how you do it. And here's another humbleness. The humbleness is where knowing when to walk away. Speak your truth and know when to walk away. It's like the old Kenny Rogers song, "Know When to Walk Away," the gambler. And really what that song, what I'm talking about is that when you're speaking your truth and people are in resistance to it and people are wanting to argue, you say what you have to say and you move on. Here's what happens though. We react. We feel there's a part of us that starts to feel that they're challenging us, that they're saying that we're wrong. And the truth is that their challenge or their argument or whatever they're saying, if it makes you feel wrong, even if that's their intention, if it makes you feel wrong or less than or small or any of those kind of things, then guess what? The truth is that you feel that. They're not making you feel that way. And so what happens is that the person that has not healed themselves, and this is why it's so important to work on yourself first, the person that has not healed themselves is not capable of having enough strength, inner strength within themselves. They don't have a foundation built on rock so that they can be able to stand and say, no, this is my truth. I hear what you're saying. I love you. And I respect what you have to say. And it's totally fine that you believe that. It's just not how I see it. Now, you're not condemning that person. You're not looking down upon them. You're not. If you notice the difference in here, you're actually telling them you care a great deal about them. That you're not telling them that they're wrong. You're not lessening them or any of that kind of stuff. And the reason why you want to do that is because we're all one. And if we're all one, you want to treat them with the same respect that you want to be treated. This is the do unto others as you want to be done unto you. So do you guys kind of see how we're starting to create a different world? Now, what we're seeing on Facebook right now and on social media and on the news and everything else, we're not seeing this type of compassion, this type of understanding. This is not humbleness happening. This is outright ego happening. So we have, let's just use gay marriage. That just happened. It's okay to not believe that it's right. That's okay. It's okay to believe that it is right. Here's the issue. Nobody comes together and talks. They just argue. They just argue. And I can guarantee you that if you believe in God, if that's your belief, and that's fine if that's your belief, I'm not condemning that at all. I can guarantee you that your God does not say argue. It does not say condemn. It does not say judge. And I can also guarantee you that from a different perspective, even if you're not spiritual and even if you don't believe in God, I can guarantee you that your parents or your inner soul or whoever you are as a person, there's a part of you that knows that you don't need to argue. We do not need to fight. Fighting only breeds more fighting. Anger only breeds more anger. And how we're going to find peace is to find peace in ourselves first, love ourselves first, and then we can stand up and say this is incorrect. I've been posting a lot of things that are very political and things that I definitely believe in, and those kind of things. And people may not believe in them, and that's totally okay. I believe in free. I believe in socialized healthcare. I believe in education being paid for, and or free, or on a subsidy, or where it's not as so expensive. I don't believe that that things should have big business making money while the little person is trying to work hard. And incidentally, none of us are little people. What I'm trying to get at, those are just my personal beliefs. You don't have to believe in it, but we can have an intelligent conversation and discuss things. See, the basis of the word synergy, and I just want everybody to think about this, is when two people come together and take their ideas and create them, and create something greater. Here's the deal. We want people with different ideas. We don't want everybody to have the same ideas. It's actually very good for us to have different ideas. It's good to have a conservative outlook and a liberal outlook. What has happened is the conservative outlook and the liberal outlook have become at opposites with each other. They're at war with each other. That's incorrect. Why do you want a conservative and a liberal outlook? Because where the conservative will say, hold on a second, let's think about this, the true conservative, not what's been happening, and the liberal will say, hey, let's be a little bit progressive, and let's just push just beyond our stretches. That when they come together and take both ideas to come together and create something greater than what each one could have considered or perceived, that's called synergy. And when we talk about synergy, we're creating something, and we're taking it from opposites, duality, and we're creating oneness. And the only way to do that is that if we have love in our hearts, love meaning balance. See, that we have an incorrect perception of love. Love is the flow of the universe. Love has no judgment. Love has no, you're doing something wrong. Love is just is. It's the beingness that is each one of us. It's the divine spark that is in each one of us. And when you can understand what love is, when you can understand that it is the flow of the cosmic consciousness that's within you, the super consciousness that is all of us, then you'll understand that you can take each side of yourself and merge them into one. This is where the left hemisphere and the right hemisphere come together, and they marry and they become one. The difficulty we're having in our country, in our society, and in our world is that we're bickering, and we're not able to see that each one of us wants the same things. We all want to be loved. We all want to leave something behind. We want to leave a legacy. We want to be understood. We want to be cared for. However, we have to understand ourselves first. We have to seek first to understand, and then to be understood. We have to understand ourselves so that we can understand others. And if we don't go and look for these things inside of ourselves, it's never going to happen. And here's the reason why: because you're always going to be flared up, you're always going to react, you're always going to take things personal, and you're going to be stuck in this paradigm of duality. You're going to be stuck in this paradigm that somebody has to be wrong and you have to be right. I have a friend that for a while we would have discussions, and this person would always say, so I'm always the bad guy. So I'm being made out to be the bad guy. And it's not just one friend, it's actually a few friends I've had in my lifetime. And it's because every time you say something that is different from them, or you express your feelings, they feel like the bad guy. So the truth is, this is not what you're saying. It's they always feel like the bad guy. And the truth is they're not. They're not bad people. In their mind, they're so hurt and they've been so oppressed within themselves that they always feel that. And victims of abuse have that quite a bit. And in some levels, we all have been somewhat of a victim of abuse. What I'm trying to get at is the world we want to create is going to be based on love and compassion. And incidentally, if we bring in one power and if we take away one power or one government or one authority and put in another one, we have to be careful, because we want those same people to be within their hearts. We want them to be balanced in love. in understanding and compassion, because understanding those things will make them make decisions based on the whole. See, what we have going on right now is we have tyranny happening. And there are tyrants in our government. And incidentally, all of us at some level are tyrants. Because when you want to oppress another person so that they can see your views, if you want to stifle out their views so that you can be heard, then you are a tyrant. And the hard part for people to understand is that you're so busy wanting to say that these are my rights and I want this, and if anybody has any opposing opinions, then they're just jerks, that they're not understanding, and they're bigots and they're racists and everything else. And we've got real problems in this world, everybody. We got real ones. We got people starving in the streets. We still have people being beaten for the color of their skin. We still have elderly people trying to make decisions to eat instead of getting health care or the medicines that they need. We have war still happening on our planet. And we're bickering over flags. That's not compassion. I have a great love for each and every one of you that's listening. A great love. And the reason why I have that is because I've had the same anger inside of me. That same anger that has made me want to lash out and feel bad about myself and feel insecure about myself. And the only thing that has helped me is to get inside and look at that part of myself that felt insignificant. It's like the quote that's in front of you as this is playing from Nelson Mandela. There is no passion in playing small and settling for a life that is less than the one that you are capable of living. And each one of us is not doing what we want to do. We're not living an inspired life. We're not living that empowered life because we're afraid of what people are going to say. We're afraid of what people are going to think. And we're afraid of failure. And the only failure is the person that didn't try. So if you want to stand up on a political platform and preach and talk about what you're passionate about, if you want to be a minister and talk about what you're passionate about, and if you want to stand up and be whatever it is you want to be, you do it. The greatest revolution is to be exactly what you are and be empowered and let your light shine and let it shine brightly. And not worry about what other people are doing, and speak your truth if you see something. See, when we say the words, not worry about what other people are doing, that means you're not attached to the reaction. It doesn't mean you can't stand up and say, it is incorrect for you to judge. Why? Because you're hurting yourself. You may think you're hurting other people. You may think you're trying to get things done and pushed on other people and create a utopic life. Who you're really hurting when you judge somebody is you're really hurting yourself. Because the anger and resentment builds up inside of you. Because once they get over their initial, I cannot believe they just judged me, they're gone in your history. And they've forgotten about you. However, you're still feeling not heard. You're still feeling anger. You're still feeling the same hurts and pains that you were talking about before, and whatever it is that they weren't seeing and what you were trying to say. It's time to really think about how we want this world to be, how we want to see it to be. And I think that every one of us wants it to be about love and understanding and truth. All of us are upset because we're tired of being lied to. The question is have you lied to yourself? I've heard people saying that what we have now is better than what we had before, that at least we have this. We're settling for things that are unacceptable because they have somewhat of a little bit of a different. It's like throwing a dog a bone so that he'll be quiet, he or she'll be quiet. No, it is unacceptable. It is okay to stand up and say it is unacceptable for people to not have correct health care. It is unacceptable for people not to be educated correctly. It is unacceptable for police officers to be beating people in the street. It is completely unacceptable for people to be using hate to harm other people. It is completely unacceptable for us to still be having racial violence within our world. This is unacceptable. It is unacceptable to have genocide in our world. That is unacceptable. And there is nothing wrong for us to stand up and say that. And I don't care if you're conservative or liberal, each one of you knows that it is unacceptable for these things to be happening. The argument is, how do we fix it? And the reason why we haven't fixed it is because we haven't shut our goddamn mouths long enough to sit down and feel our hearts and see what the resolution is. Because a synergy, if we came together, as I was talking about earlier, and brought things together, different ideas come together to create something greater than what we thought of before. And if we're in our hearts, if we've done our inner work, if we've done our personal work and our personal journey with ourselves and understand who we are, then we'll definitely understand other people and we'll definitely have a greater world come to us. Thank you, everybody, for listening. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel and hit the thumbs up on it. I definitely love each one of you, and I just wanted to give some food for thought. Many blessings to everybody. Have a wonderful day.